Hmm. I'm gonna get it, girls. All right, boys. Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? Ah, here. Let's go. I'm gonna get it, girls. All right, boys. Where are we dropping? All right, boys. All right, boys. It's video review time. Welcome back, League. It is good to be here doing this week's video review. I'm sure it's been a crazy year so far already. I'm sure you've seen, looking through the whole COVID restrictions, players opting out, players getting hurt, players just not wanting to play because they want to fight their teammates and sit on my bench for the entire year because they can only play one game. Don't worry, he's not my number one draft pick or anything. I digress. Enough about me. Let's go ahead and talk about this week of fantasy football and some of the matchups that were very marquee and some that were just outright pitiful. Fig Newton, 96.84 versus Arby's. We have the meat, 53.54. Alex, let's go ahead and start with your team over here. First off, you balled out with 96.84, which again is a respectable number, but may not be enough to win each week, as it has been a high scoring year this year. And 96 has lost more times than it's won this year. You had a respectful output from Lamar Jackson, who's finally starting to step it up again, putting up 28.24 points for you. And Ronald Jones putting up 25.1 points. That is huge for you. He's putting up points in a crowded Tampa offense with some guy named Tom Brady as their quarterback. Never heard of her. Other than that, the rest of your team was very subpar. You got 13 points out of the Giants defense, which is more than you can expect any week in fantasy football from them. but then you have 2 zeros in your lineup. That is not going to cut it going forward. If you want to be competitive in this league, you got to fix those zeros, man. John Brown, Matt Gesicki, can't be having that going forward against some of the more elite teams in the league. Luckily, this week you're playing a non-elite team. Let me retract. Your non-elite team because he had half his team on the bench, half his team on a bye week. And I'm talking about you, Cam. You were put between a rock and a hard place. When your only scoring person is Ryan Fitzpatrick, the only one to break double digits with Adam Thielen, you're going to have a rough week there. Again, you had a rough week. You had 6 players on your bench who, even if you put them in, they weren't going to score because you're on a bye week or they were hurt. So you had a lot of zeros on that bench. And I respect you for not wanting to blow up your bench to try and get someone just to scrape together a maybe fantasy winning team this week. So I respect you for taking the L like a man, taking your lumps and just moving forward. But it'll be interesting to see if you can snap out of this 2-game losing streak to start making a run up that chain, up that ladder in the standings to become competitive for the rest of the year. Hidden Kamara Show, 109.64 versus Pocket Passer, 87.4. Rich, we're going to start with your team over here as you put up 109 points this week. That is a good week right there. You had baller performances from Matt Ryan, who's throwing out of his mind, but on a very sad team there. And then look who finally stepped it up, coming back healthy, Julio Jones. As predicted by the guru, Sam Perry, he was going to ball out this week. And I would say getting 137 yards and 2 touchdowns is balling out. Those are your 2 main leading scorers right there, and really the 2 people that carried you to victory. Other than that, you only had 1 person get you in the double digits, and it is Adrian Peterson, who you can't really rely on every week to get you those kind of points, even just 12.3. So with 2 big baller performances from your 2 main guys, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, that really helped to propel you to your win this week. Looking forward to seeing maybe a little bit more points going forward, but I mean, right here, you're 5-1. You're sitting on top of the league. You're in a good position right now to make a run for it, especially coming off with Kamara coming off his bye week here. Now, Jeff, let's talk to you here. I mean, if you told me Aaron Rodgers was going to have that kind of performance this week, I would have laughed at you. He put up 3.8 points. That is unreal. He didn't even break 200 yards passing. He had 2 interceptions, and he didn't throw a touchdown. That's going to hurt any week. Any week you have him in your lineup, that's going to hurt you a lot. Outside of that, you had 3 people break double digits. So you had Joe Mixon put up 13.9. Moore put up 11.8. Hurts put up 13.7. And Tucker putting up 16. You're not going to win most weeks when your leading scorer is your kicker. So let's go ahead, shake out the cobwebs there. Let's see if we can't right the ship going forward. You're sitting at 2-4. You're sitting down there near the bottom. You got a long climb to go to see if you want to make your way into the playoffs and even be competitive for the rest of the year. Dak Lives Matter, 135.88 versus Bill's New Boo, 92.1. Mike, let's talk about your team here. Wow, 135.88. Those are the numbers I'm kind of expecting out of most teams this year. It's been a very high scoring year in the league, but you've been consistent up there, even with -5 from the Titans defense. That still put you would have been over 140 points if even the Titans defense just got you 0. But they took out 5 from you, and guess what? They could have took out 30 from you, and you still would have been fine. Derrick Henry is a monster. 202 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's just disgusting what that man just did, leading the way for you with 39.4. Will Fuller finally looking healthy, finally catching some balls, finally doing some good things now, 21.3. And then Travis Kelce's doing what Travis Kelce does, catching touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes, which, yeah, that's what he does. Getting you that 19 points there. I mean, I know I just said that he was on top of the league. I know I just said Rich was on top of the league. Forgive me. You're 6-0. No disrespect. Keep riding that win. I'm sending you positive vibes, hoping that this will start sending your team in a spiral, because every time I go negative on you, you usually ball out the next week. Up next, we got Bill's New Boo. 92.1. Previous years would cut it, but this year with the high scoring league that we got, ain't gonna work. Patrick Mahomes, doing a respectable performance, putting up 20.6. Claypool over here has been a hidden gem of the year. Been playing out of his mind the last couple weeks, putting up 16.1 points for you. Let's see if he can maintain that going forward there. Let's see if it's something that he can keep going in that Pittsburgh Steelers offense there. Other than that, Gaskin only got you 14.6, and then the rest of your team was in single digits. Not going to cut it for you this week, Jake. Always looking forward to next week, getting some players healthy, getting ready to take on whatever challenges you got left. I mean, you're at 2-4. You still got a long climb to go if you want to make yourself a 3-time champion. Thomas the Saints Engine, 119.22 versus a team name I don't want to say out loud, 107.04. Kevin, we're going to start with your team because I like to wait till the last minute to win, apparently, judging by my team. You put up 107 points this week. Not a bad score. Right around that 100 mark has been that cusp there of if you're going to win or if you're going to lose. Unfortunately, this week, coming into the last night, waiting for Monday night, waiting for Tyreek Hill to do something crazy, but didn't happen. Hill had a subpar performance. He was actually human. He put up only 4 points for you, which actually really hurt you going into that final night. You had me really worried, though, because Justin Jefferson, another young rookie, really putting up some good numbers this year, put up 35.1 points for you. 9 receptions, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been playing very well this year, having some really big performances going down the stretch. So we'll see if he can maintain that going. Another young guy coming up big for you, Swift, putting up 25.8 points as well. Those were your 2 main leading scorers going into the week. Brady put up almost 15. The rest of your team was just pretty subpar. Nobody getting above 10 points from there on out. 107 will beat some teams in the league, but if you really want to be competitive near the upper echelon, you're going to have to put up more points than that. Now let's talk about my team here. I was really lucky that A.J. Brown has finally come back off injury reserves and he's playing healthy for once. He's putting up some big numbers. He's doing well. Miami's defense came through for me. I picked them up late. They got 15 points against a staggering Jets offense right now. That whole franchise is in the toilet. But then my real MVP of the year so far, Kyler Murray, leading the league in quarterbacks for scoring right now, put up 28.9 points to help secure the win for me going into this week as I was waiting on Monday Night Football. Fingers crossed that Hill would stub his toe on the way in and not play, and that Murray would ball out and I would get the win. Going forward, I got Michael Thomas coming back, so he's going to be healthy. Hopefully he can stop punching his teammates trying to pick fights. That way I can actually get some production out of my number 1 pick overall. I'm thinking that I'll have a pretty good opportunity going forward. I'm sitting at a 3-3 right now. 4th highest scoring team in the league, so we'll see. As long as no big injuries happen, as long as my running backs still keep producing, wide receiving core will be okay. We'll see what happens going forward for the rest of the week. Now, on to our game of the week. The Quarantine, 137.6 versus Hello Darkness, my old friend, 126.38. Paul, we're going to start with your team and let Sam bask in the misery of his team just for a little bit longer. Your team was the highest scoring team this week, putting up 137.6. That is outrageous. That's going to win you most weeks. Top-notch performances from Deshaun Watson, who's trying to figure out that he can actually throw to someone else not named DeAndre Hopkins. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who has been the rookie find of the year for you. You all knew coming in who's going to be a stud going into that Andy Reid offense. I am a little hesitant going forward, though, because now they signed Le'Veon Bell, who might be sniping some carries and catches away from him. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Kenyon Drake with 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, finally balling out on that Arizona Cardinals offense. And the rest of your team played very well. You only had 2 people not get in double digits. Mark Andrews, who is unheard of, he usually hits double digits each week. And then your kicker. Butt kicker. But I mean, when your whole team's putting up those kind of numbers, you're going to kick butt most week. And you did that this week here. Bringing your record to 3-3. Still keeping you up in the top 3 there. Tied with a whole bunch of other people. Now, Sammy, I've never seen a team so good be so bad. You put up 126.38. That beats everyone else in the league except for 2 other teams. But you went up against the highest scoring team in the league this week, which usually doesn't bode well for you, which coming from personal experience, I've done it once or twice myself. Your team is absolute studs. There's only 2 people not scoring the double digits on your team. Ezekiel Elliott and Robbie Gould. The latter, Elliott, only putting up 8 points, is what sealed your fate this week. 2 fumbles, 49 yards, seeing the bench, being stuck in that Dallas team, which is now in disarray. They don't even know what's going on since Dak Prescott is out for the year. Andy Dalton at the helm certainly doesn't help your case going forward. You made a big trade this week, picking up Tyreek Hill, trading away anybody named in the Raiders offense just to Kevin for the 2nd year in a row. Kevin, stop it. But now you got Tyreek Hill on your team to go with Ridley and Diggs, who are playing out of their mind. Now you got a couple good running backs still to work through. Honestly, you're my sleeping dog of the year right here. I would say if anybody has the opportunity to make it all the way into the playoffs and cause some chaos, it'd be this year. My bold prediction going forward, Sam, is that you are going to run the tables. You will make the playoffs, and you will have a playoff run. That is my bold prediction. So jumping into my prediction for the game of the week next week. We got the 5-1 Hidden Kamara show versus the 1-5 Hello Darkness, my old friend. I know what you're thinking. The game of the week shouldn't be a 5-1 versus a 1-5, but if it wants to fulfill my prediction, I think Sam's going to come out and take down one of the giants in the league here. He's going to have a bounce back performance from Ezekiel Elliott, who's playing that dreadful Washington football team. Josh Allen's going to come back. He's playing the Jets here. Everybody's blowing up the Jets. And you're going to get good performances from the rest of your team here. A lot of good favorable matchups coming your way. I think Sam's going to pull this one out by a comfortable 12 points. And it's going to be the game of the week going in to next week. Well, League, that wraps up this week's video review. I always have fun doing this. I always love making up little skits for you. It's always fun reviewing the team and taking a few jabs at some of the other players in the league. Looking forward to the rest of the year. Hopefully I can squeeze out 1 or 2 of these more for you guys going forward. But until then, pick 'em right, keep your sleepers tight, and have a good night. Cheers, gentlemen. Good luck the rest of the way.